Everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. And the question for today is advantage shuffle. So, given two arrays A and B of equal size, the advantage of A with respect to B is the number of indices I for which the value at present at index I is greater than Bi. So, we have to return any permutation. The permutation here of A means that we can shuffle the elements of A that maximize its advantage with respect to B. Alright, so given two arrays like this A and B, and we have to return this. So as we can see, 2 is greater than 1, 11 is greater than 10, and 7 is greater than 4, and 15 is greater than 11. So that's how we shuffle. So what we do is we interchange these two positions. Alright, so yeah, that's how we did it. Similarly, for this question, the 24 is bigger than 13 and 32 is bigger than 25, and this case we cannot meet, and 11 is greater than 12. So we have to return the maximum. Here the maximum size is 4, here the maximum size is 3. So we have to return the maximum size array, and we have to return the elements, not just the count but the elements. So that's the trick question here, and it's very important for the competition point of view as well. For the coding point of view, you can see this question in many companies, where because of the approach used here, because you have to return the array, not the count. Usually what we see around here is the count type question to return the count, that is the length. Now we have to return the array, so this makes something difficult for this question, and that's why this question is livable. So let it be. Now let's see the constraints that are given to us over here. Alright, so the constraint given to us here is that the length of the both the arrays are equal, and they are minimum 1 and up to 10,000. Alright, so length of the array A and B are equal because they are equal in length, and they are not empty. So at least they will contain one value. So our minimum answer would be 1. Alright, yeah. So minimum will be 1 if the length is 1. So that will be our corner case for the first. And as we can see, the length of the values in the array of A and B can range from 0 to 10 to the power 9. So that can be huge values. Alright, so because of these huge values, we can't use things like hashing and like stuff. If these values are like 100 or 1000, we can create a hash or stuff, but these range to 10 to the power 9, so it would consume a lot of memory space if we try to hash up like this. Alright, so these are the basic few tips and tricks that when we read question help us to figure out the approach. Alright, had it been 100 or 200, and we would have much think of hashing and all that stuff, but here the numbers are given to 10 to the power 9, so we can't use hashing. So let's see what approach we will be using for this question. So for the approach, let's see for the an example, and let's find out how we are going to solve it. Alright, so let's take an array first. So here are two arrays. Let's say this is our array A and this is our array B. So the greedy approach would be to sort both of the arrays. Let's see how. So on sorting this, it is already sorted. Now on sorting the other array, so it would be 1, 4, 10, 11. So the approach here would be that for every element we will check that whether it is greater than the smallest element present in B array. If yes, then what we are going to do is we are going to put into a hash map of this array of this number. Alright, so once we get 2, now then we move to the other index, because for this number we have got one value, that is 2. Alright, that would be stored in the final array. Now for the number 7, we see that since 4 is greater than 7, then we store it. Suppose there is a case, let's in here what we will be going to do is further steps would be that 1 will store 2 and 4 will store 7, and it's 11, 10 and 11, 15. So 10 will store 11 and 11 will store 15, and we pop it out one by one, and this is our final result. Alright, so corresponding to 1, 4, 10, 11. Alright, now we have stored them, so we see our original array, that is 1, 4, 10, 11, 1, 10, 4, 11, and we compare, we just take out the values. The first value compared to 1 is 2, so we pop out 2. Then 10 for 10 is we say for 10 is 11, so we pop out 11. For 4 it's 7, and for 11 it's 15. So alright, this is our final answer. Alright, so let's see in the case where we cannot find one. Alright, let's see. This is our array A and this is our B. So after sorting, it would be 8, 12, 24, 32, and this array would be 11 and 13, 25 and 32. Alright, so the same approach we will be using here. If this number is greater than the smallest element present in B, what we do is we add it to corresponding value, and if not, then we add it into another list. So here 8 is not greater than the smallest element in B, so 8 would not be greater than any of the elements, so it cannot be stored with the any of the elements reserved. So alright, so what we do is we just add 8 into a separate queue, or you can say a separate separate queue, and now we move our I to another value, and we see that 12 is greater than 11. So what we do is for 11 hash we put 12 in it. Alright, and we move one place for further, and we see 24 is greater than 13, so we put 24 at the hash of 13, and now we move further and we find 25. So yeah, so we put 32 at hash of 25. Alright, so how we will be returning is we will be going to this position, and yeah, so if 13 has the value, yeah, so we return 24. If 25 has value, yeah, 32, and now 32 has no value, so we will return 8 because the corresponding value from this will be returned, and 11 has value, that is 12. So this will be our final answer. Alright, this would be our answer, and you can see the example as well. So this is our answer over here. Alright, so that's the example I have solved. Now I hope the approach is clear to everyone. We can move to the code for this question. Let's see the code. Alright, so yeah, this is a code. This is a bigger code, but it's very easy to understand. Let's see how. And first we have sorted the two lists and stored in clones in their clones in the sorted array and sorted array B. Now we have taken a map, and yeah, so we have taken a DQ because it would be storing the particular value. If there is no value, then it would be just empty. Alright, so it's not like we are storing tons of numbers, we are storing one value only, and if it's not there, we'll just put an empty. Alright, so yeah, so for every value in B in the sorted array, we just create a hash map. Alright, and for the remaining values we create one. these are the remaining values that we will be coming from array A, not array B. Alright, so it would be coming from array A, which will not be assigned to array B, will get in the array A. 8 in the uppercase in the case we discussed, because 8 was not greater than any element, so it won't be, as it was not greater than the smallest element present at that time, so it can't be greater at any elements. Alright, so that's why we have used sorting here. Alright, so this is the remaining queue which will contain the values of A that can be assigned to any value for B. Alright, now let's fill our values for B. Alright, so for every value in A, we will see that if A is greater than sorted array J. If yes, we will just add it into the corresponding linked list in our map, and if it's not there, then we will add it to our remaining. Alright, you can see that from array A we are adding into the remaining DQ which we have taken. Alright, after this step, what we are going to have is we are going to have our answer, and that would be just traversing the array A, the array B, original array B, not the sorted one. Alright, so we will traverse the original array B. That's very important thing to note. Alright, so we have taken one answer where we will be storing the values. So what we have done here is that for int I equals to 0, I left b dot length. Why? Because we are taking the array B. So we will check for the corresponding value. If the size is less greater than 0, that means it contains one element, and we will put one element only. Either it will be initialized to 0 or we will be having one element. So if its size is greater than 0, then we will pop that element and just assign to our answer value, or what we do is we take from the remaining. Alright, remaining DQ. Alright, so yeah, so that's how our algorithm will work, and at the end we will be returning our answer array. Alright, I hope it's clear, and let's try to submit. So if you have any doubt regarding this question, you can ask me in the comment section. Please like this video, share it among your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.